I've heard it from several sources that Mom used to, how you say, embellish the finer aspects of my character. All of which you know could not be true, but you humored her anyway. None of you were spared. To this I'm sorry, but today it's my turn to talk about her, and it's long overdue. But everything I say will be unembellished, all true. To honor Mom, I would like to share 5 endearing traits of her essence and being that I hope will touch your soul and have you warmly cherish the memories you had with her. So the first endearing quality was reverence. And she set an example for life that motivated me to conduct myself in ways that I could never bear to bring her shame. What would Mom think? You know, that kind of thing. And that's who Mom was to me. Someone I loved and revered for the person she was. It wasn't out of fear, but more out of respect, and it guided my life. She's the type of person that you wanted to please because of the example she set. But to top that off, if I did fail that objective, and I did, she was there to raise me up and talk me through it, whether I was 5 years old or 55. For Mom's 90th birthday, which you saw in the video, Nancy and I sang a most reverent ballad, You Raised Me Up. Tears were pouring down her cheeks as they were down ours. I cannot imagine what it was like for Mom hearing her 2 children harmonizing in voice and spirit such a lovely song to her with verse and meaning so perfectly written to dwell in her heart and soul forever. John integrated that song so nicely in his video tribute. She knew we revered her. Second, hope. She survived 5 bouts of cancer. Bone cancer in her 20s, she lost the tip of her left index finger. The same cancer that took her sister Mary's life when they were young. Breast cancer in her 30s. She would always bring the gift of hope to other cancer-afflicted women and inspire them to find their strength and dignity again. At age 74, she underwent surgery for gallbladder cancer that metastasized to her liver. The odds seemed against her. It was quite advanced. The surgeon was not giving us much hope. So I sat down and wrote the letter of all letters to her and shared my heart about how wonderful a mother she had been and how much I loved her. She read it through welling tears just before they wheeled her to surgery. I guess that was the life event that forced me to finally tell her what she meant to me. Nancy had her straw. She's the older one, and I got the lost composure short straw. So we say, bear with me. It should have been reversed. Miraculously, although she lost 3/4 of her liver, she lived another 20 years, long enough to face 2 more cancer diagnoses in her 80s and 90s, skin and pancreatic. But they did not take her life. No, she died in peace and in her time, in hopeful assurance of the life to come. A poem from Alexander Pope is appropriate here. Hope springs eternal in the human breast. Man never is, but always to the best, to be blessed. The soul uneasy and confined from home rests and longs in a life to come. The third principle, simple pleasures. You knew her well if you knew that only 3 things mattered to her every day. The first is a warm cup of coffee, not Starbucks, no. Maxwell House or Folgers, anything in a big can. The second, a cookie. Any kind would do. She would always find coffee wherever she went. But if someone offered her a cookie, she would instantly become the happiest woman alive. What is the third? The most important, laughter. Mom was a prankster, was feisty, loved to rib people, and always found a way to make light of any situation. It simply was not possible to be in a room with Mom and not laugh with her. Right, Jean-Claude? Not possible. She could make anyone laugh. It was the way she connected with humanity. I'm pointing this out because it's good to know that she brought joy to all of us by demonstrating that the simple things in life are often what are most important. Overcomplicating life with the need for material possessions was snuffed out at an early age. She lived through the meager, stark, and downright bleak conditions of 40 below temperatures on the Saskatchewan prairies during the Great Depression. No heat, electricity, or running water. No possessions to speak of. An orange for a Christmas gift as a child, was something she would often recall. It was not a complaint. Quite the contrary. It was the highlight of the year, and she remembered it fondly to the end of her days. She lived a thrifty, humble life, requiring nothing but a little time with her around the kitchen table, having a good laugh, with a cup of coffee in one hand and a peanut butter cookie in the other. She brought us joy, simply. Fourth, gratefulness. 1 Thessalonians, and everything give thanks, for it is God's will for your life. She lived and died with that verse. I don't think she ever learned what it meant to complain. Thank you, Mom, for teaching me this. In my brief life, I've learned that there's no greater virtue than living gratefully. I've learned this from Mom. She would thank you for the simplest ordinary gifts or gestures. Even making a phone call to her ended in what seemed an undeserved gratefulness. All right then, thank you so much for calling me. I must have heard that 1,000 times. Mom had many caregivers, including Kim and Logan, who were with her day in and day out. They observed her in her darkest hour and can attest to her gratefulness for everything they did for her. Marie, the one caregiver from Saskatoon, her hometown, once said to me, "Jim, your mother was the most grateful person I've ever met." Fifth, kindness. In her final days, she asked what wisdom she could give the world. Her words, "Be kind." Mom showed us kindness. Mom could do nothing but be kind. Mom had a passion for the elderly in her younger years and middle-aged years. I always wondered who the people would be to see her through her final days. I bet she wondered who would take care of her, but she never asked and she never demanded help. But she was blessed to the end. As you know, was moved upstairs. Mom moved into her remodeled basement. Nancy and Zeke came to visit almost every day. She was treated with the kindness she deserved, the kindness and devotion that she had given others throughout her life. Her hopefulness, gratefulness, and kindness are her legacy to us. I find that the more I miss her, the more I appreciate everything she was and stood for in her long, fruitful, charitable life. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for being such good friends and bringing so much joy to Mom. You helped make her life so wonderful. She loved each and every one of you. She would be glad that you came to celebrate her memory. And finally, I wish to leave you with one powerful word that says so much about my mother. It epitomizes her life. This word, she lived a life of loving kindness.